Welcome back. So after a successful national run back in 2024, Jason and Nicholas Goliath, they are back with an all-new edition of the Happiness Economy Comedy Tour that's live at the Pieter Toerien Theatre in Montecasino. Now, the show started on the 18th of June. It runs until the 6th of July, and the 2025 edition, it incorporates brand new stories, material, revelations that are gathered from the duo's personal lives and just their nationwide engagements. Both gentlemen joins us this morning in studio to chat a little bit about the comedy show and their journey. Jason and Nicholas, good morning.
Good morning.
I love the energy as you walked in here, and I was telling you, a lot of people trying to fake being happy, you know, but encompassing it is a lot of work, and it's a great responsibility. What's happening as this show continues?
We woke up before the sun, it was -1. Today is maybe not a good day. Assume we're happy. We were happy to see you.
Yes,
we were happy to see you. Because for people watching that don't know, we grew up together. This young lady has been interviewing us for the last 14 years. We've been in comedy for 14 years.
3rd of July, actually.
And she parts in long life milk.
Yes, because you look exactly the same.
We used to look the same age, and now our motor plan is finished.
Okay, I'm gonna thank my mom for that, but thank you. It's been a journey, and I mean, it's had its ups and downs, and obviously now you're showcasing this through your comedy work. I think there's a lot of expectations on the part of comedians to be happy all the time, and that's not fair. How do you guys navigate that in reality?
I mean, I think that pressure is not just on comedians. I think anybody kind of in the limelight, and at the moment you can make your own limelight in your bedroom with your phone. And I think that, you know, we always joke and say that, you know, the reason we're on this journey is because, I mean, firstly, the audacity of two comedians to try and define happiness. But you know that, you know, I've been obsessed with happiness for years. And then, you know, COVID came and took our happiness away, and then we had to figure out, okay, what is happiness even really? Do we even know this thing that we speak about so much, that we're chasing? And I know I'm answering your question in such a long way, but we started a podcast to invite people who we think are happy. So, I follow you on IG. I think your life looks happy. Let's interrogate that happiness and figure out, can we, boil it down? And the result was happiness does not exist the way we ever thought it did. I ever thought it did.
Yeah, and for you, Nicholas, is it fleeting? Is joy the better emotion? Is happiness the baseline, and everything else, not normal in relation to that?
So I think what we've realized is that happiness is what we think we're chasing, but in reality, I think what we're chasing is actually a more peaceful, joyful life. Because peace is, I think, what we're all seeking for. Just the peace of mind, knowing that life is going to be okay, that things are going to be okay. Happiness, I think we often think of it as this laughing, smiling, always just joyful and running around with no problems. And unfortunately, we've realized that happiness doesn't exist the way we believe, the way we've been taught it does. That it's not a thing that you can achieve and then hold on to for the rest of your life. It's a daily process that you've got to go through to work on your happiness. And in turn, that will lead to then hopefully a more peaceful, joyful life if you can work on your happiness every day.
It's probably also cultivating resilience, right? And making some of those mistakes. Sometimes that's actually where the wisdom lies. But as performers, I mean, I could say this, you probably have to go on stage sometimes when you're emotionally and mentally not ready, and you haven't, stabilized yourself.
Absolutely.
What goes into that process? How do you do it?
You use your acting.
Okay, this is why your CVs are so extensive.
I mean, I joke, but I have become conscious, because since we've been doing the show, a lot of people have been kind of asking us that question, how do you put it on? And then you realize that everybody's got to put it on. It doesn't matter what job you do. At some point, you've got to leave your troubles at home and show up at work. You know what I mean? You can't be it doesn't matter whether you're an accountant or the garbage man. You don't want the garbage man crying there outside your house while he's putting the bin in. Just like you don't want your accountant crying when he phones you to say, listen, I've got a message for you. So I think it's called adulting, and we just choose to adult in the limelight. We're actually luckier than the accountant or the garbage man, because I think that we love our jobs more. So, I remember during COVID, my wife said to me, I can't wait for you to get back on stage, because that's your happy place. That thing makes you happier than staying at home. You know what I mean? So I think we've won the job lottery, where we're much luckier than the man on the street, and putting it on is easy, because imagine going to your favorite place. I always say the stage, when the mic is on, that's the only place I'd never feel anxiety. The world gives me anxiety. The stage is like a safe space for me.
And also the connection and authenticity, showing up vulnerability. Fully.
Yes.
It's magic and it heals. So we've seen the podcast and the guests as well, but if you're looking at the comedy show and what this tour looks like, what are people in for? How are you going to... Is it safe to sit in front?
It's always safe to sit in front. Always. It's a different type.
Nicholas, there is Consumer Protection Act. There is Consumer Protection Act. People will come for us.
No, but it
is safe, but that's why we do this in a small room, which means it's a very intimate, very vulnerable, very personal show, and a small room makes the whole room the front row. So it doesn't matter where you sit, you're going to have a good time. But it's also the first show that we're doing that's intentionally about happiness. So, you know, there's even an element of education around roasting and what it should be, where it should come from. Because it's a Goliath culture, we couldn't just stop roasting, but we also don't want to rob you of happiness in the front row. So it's incredibly different, even down to the front row curse, which a lot of people suffer.
I mean, it's good to be humble and laugh at yourself.
Yeah,
so I think you can look at that. But you guys are men, and we're also shining a spotlight on mental health issues for men this month in June, amongst many other issues in our society. Tell us about what you've experienced, learnt, unlearning, relearning on that front in relation to your own journey.
Man, I think, the biggest lesson I've learned is that men, as has been said so many times before, we don't open up, we don't speak about our emotions. And oftentimes I feel like when men do open up and speak about their emotions or how they're feeling, it's kind of brushed aside, like, just man up, drink a concrete milkshake, keep going. You've got to do the thing, there's bills to be paid, there's things that have to happen. And I find it to be a very lonely space, because often you're surrounded by people who love you and care for you, but they don't understand the struggles that men are going through on a daily basis. I also feel like the world is in a space now where men and women are battling each other. Like we're fighting to be the more emotional or the more kind of sad, or I don't even know how to put it. And I think that's a big part of where the show comes from as well, is that we realize that people in general are in a terrible negative emotional space, and every time you log onto social media or any media, you are bombarded with negativity and sadness. And all we're trying to do is just change that narrative and get people to understand that you can, doesn't matter whether you're male, female, whatever your story is, you can focus on your happiness, and you can focus and work on your mind and work on being a better person and just having a better emotional state and being able to control. Like Jay says, we've got things to do. Life is happening, and it's the same for men and women. You've got to get up and go and do your job. You've got to get up and do what needs to be done.
Tala what you must.
We've got to tala what you must. That's it, simple.
So remind us about when it's happening and how we get tickets, how we also just stay in touch with you guys.
So, man, we've had a 3-week run out at the Pieter Toerien Theatre at Montecasino. The first 2 weeks have been incredible. It's such a vulnerable, personal show, and I think that, I've actually got to commend us. And we're not supposed to do this publicly, but just for trying to do something from a good space for the right reason, and just trying to share this message of positivity. As I said, I think Nick said, which the world really needs right now. And it is about men's mental health. It is about not only focusing on your financial economy, but also focusing on your mental wellness economy and having that down to heart. So we've got one more week. We're there until the 6th. Tickets are available at Web Tickets, Montecasino, Pieter Toerien Theatre. It's 2 comedians trying to define happiness, and we've done so by interviewing over 50 South Africans about what happiness means to them, and we can't wait to share the recipe for joy and peace with you.
Okay, maybe I can come and sit in the back over there and come and see what's happening for this edition.
No, but also you safe. We've had many friends, and the rule is you don't roast your friends.
Yeah. Okay,
and we consider you a friend, so we got you.
Jason, Nicholas Goliath this morning, chatting all things about their tour, of course, Bring Happiness Economy to the Pieter Toerien Theatre. It's happening at Montecasino, as you heard, between the 6th of July, or until the 6th of July. Looking forward to seeing what that entails as we navigate what a happier society looks like at large. Wishing them all the best of luck.